Oh, it is go time in San Antonio tonight. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs clashing with Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Tip-off set for just after 8:30 Eastern time from the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. Knicks cruise to the NBA Finals after sweeping both the 76ers and Cavaliers. New York has won 11 straight games since falling down 2-1 to the Hawks in the first round. Knicks are chasing their first championship since 1973 and third overall in franchise history. Last time the Knicks appeared in the NBA Finals, it was 1999. They lost to our Avery Johnson and the Spurs in 5 games. That title was the first of San Antonio's 5 titles in franchise history. Now, 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama looking to make some history of his own. To get here, Wemby and the Spurs outlasted the reigning NBA champion Thunder in 7 games. Here we go. Cavalcade of stars in the house alongside CBS Sports HQ NBA analyst John Gonzalez and Noah Buono. I am Hakeem Dermish here to get you set for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Wembanyama has a chance to do something that Michael Jordan never did, something that LeBron never did. Wemby attempting to win his first NBA championship at 22 years old. John, put that into perspective for us and the path to get here for Wemby and the Spurs.
History, right? I mean, we're looking at history with this guy who's 22 years old and is so far ahead of schedule. It almost defies belief. I mean, before this season, the Spurs hadn't been in the postseason since 2019. They hadn't won a series since 2017. And I'll go one more. The last time we saw a team go from no postseason to winning the NBA Finals with this little experience, this young a roster, was Bill Walton and the Blazers back in the 70s. That's how long it's been. We're talking about 50 years. And again, you mentioned he's in his 3rd year. He's 22 years old. A lot of us, myself included, thought, okay, there's going to be some learning curve here. They're going to have to get past the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to have to do it in their building. That sounds like a tough job, right? Victor Wembanyama, down 3-2. Comes in with the monk outfit on, the whole bit, and all of a sudden now they're in the NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. It's remarkable what he's done. And here's one more thing before I finish here. If they win this, for the rest of the league. Because this was supposed to be, hey, it'll be his time eventually. His time is right now and then for the foreseeable future.
So you're saying we could be looking at the start of a dynasty?
Absolutely. I mean, now again,
now.
The Knicks. We're going to hear the Knicks' perspective in a second here. But yeah, if they win this thing, the rest of the league is going to be.
Absolutely.
They're already put on notice.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to be on high alert because when Victor Wembanyama was 22, and you go back to LeBron being 22, but they got swept by the Spurs, that was like the coming out party for LeBron. This is different because the roster in San Antonio is night and day better than that Cleveland roster, and Victor Wembanyama just poses a different threat on the basketball floor than really any other star we've ever seen. So I think when you take that into account and you add in the fact that most times players don't hit their apex in the NBA until 26, 27, 28, that's when they start rattling off titles. The fact that he's here right now and can get one at 22 is utterly insane.
Standing in Wemby's way is the hottest team still standing. The Knicks riding an 11-game win streak. Noah, how would you describe the Knicks' run to the NBA Finals?
I think I just used utter dominance, so I'm going to use utter dominance again because they've been the best team this postseason. They're winning their games by 23 points per game. They've won 11 straight. How many more ways can you watch the Knicks and still try to find holes in, they're not the favorite? No, they should be the favorite because, to me, they pose a lot greater threats, even though Wemby's on the other side, than the Spurs do to the Knicks. And I think when you look at what they did through 13 games? They lost 2 games, so it was 14 games. They've only lost 2 games by 2 total points.
Yep.
Shout out to C.J. McCollum for, going back, turning back the clock. But right now, I think what the Knicks bring to the table, they pose a lot of different threats to the San Antonio squad, specifically because of the wings being bigger on this New York Knicks roster than the wings in Oklahoma City. I think when you have that size, the speed of Jalen Brunson to get downhill, he's going to get a lot of bodies thrown at him. But ultimately, what the Knicks are accomplishing this year is unprecedented. And the teams that do what they're doing, and you might say the East is weak, they go on to win the title.
Analytically, they're not the best team, though. Right? That's the Cleveland Cavaliers, analytically.
Right. I forgot. Kenny, shouts to Kenny Atkinson. We love you, Kenny. What they're doing.
About that.
No, well, you might not.
I do not co-sign that.
Yeah, I like Kenny Atkinson personally, but yes, it was not his.
He's a fine man. He's a kind human being.
Yes.
He
just likes to analytically win. He doesn't like the real game.
That's going to come up again.
The series did not go well for him, nor did that quote. But Noah's absolutely right. What we're seeing from the New York Knicks is historic. I mean, they're on this 11-game winning streak, and over that 11-game winning streak, they have the best point differential in NBA history. We're not talking about just playoffs. We're talking about regular season or postseason. The last time they won was 40 days ago. Where was I 40 days ago? Did I work here?
At a wedding?
Where did I live? 40 days ago was 10 years ago in NBA terms. It's really staggering. They have the best defense in the playoffs. They have the best offensive rating in the playoffs, best fourth quarter defense, best fourth quarter point differential. Jalen Brunson has been so good that he hasn't had to play in the fourth quarter. Here's the part where you and I differ. The Spurs are not the Hawks. The Spurs are not the Philadelphia 76ers, who put up exactly zero resistance. Earmuffs on this one. The Spurs are not the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
The Spurs
right.
are
Those are facts.
legitimate. Right, yes, empirically true. And so this is going to be, by far and away, the toughest team that the Knicks have faced, and we're going to get into the reasons why, but this is a legitimate test for the Knicks.
Knicks last played on May 25th, 8 days between games here. It's the same amount of time off that they had before the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers. And you'll remember, they pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history, depending on your perspective. They overcame a 22-point fourth quarter deficit. I would say the Cavaliers choked away a 22-point lead. Either way, they won and they moved on. John, when you think about the long layoff here, right, it impacted them in game one against the Cavaliers. They were a little slow. They were a little rusty. How might it impact them this time around?
Yeah, they have to get off to a quicker start than they did against Cleveland in game one, right? I mean, for a while, for much of game one, I'm thinking, like the Cavs were in rhythm. The Knicks were obviously rusty. Now, the good thing about the previous series in that layoff was OG Anunoby had that hamstring injury, and that helped OG get healthy. And in this series, same deal. All of a sudden, Mitchell Robinson, and he's going to be critical in helping out on Victor Wembanyama. There's no answer on Victor Wembanyama, but you're going to have to try a lot of different things. And one of those is going to be Mitchell Robinson, who has a broken pinky finger. He's going to have a brace on it. He's available for game one. But the classic rest versus rust thing, I think if you were the Knicks, you're happy to have that rest. You've been steamrolling teams. And now all of a sudden, again, here comes the toughest challenge that you'll face in this postseason. You're rested, you're ready, you're game planned for this thing. Mike Brown's going to have them ready to rock for game one. I'd be surprised if they started slow in this one as they did against the Cavs.
I agree. I actually don't think the rust is that big of a factor, because how much does it really play into it? The first half or the first 3.5 quarters, like it did in the conference finals before the Cavs choked it away and they ultimately ended up winning game one? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember saying before going to the conference finals, we had this discussion about rust being a big factor. It only lasts for so long. You know, you go to the gym after 2 weeks off, you wake up sore with leg day, your legs are a little extra heavier, but you're fine by 1 p.m., you're ready to go back to the gym again. The Knicks are going to be completely fine. If anything, the rest is to their advantage, because they weren't in a 7-game slugfest with the defending champions, putting it on the line every other night. And I think that that's going to be big down the depth of this series when you get to game 4, game 5, game 6. They're going to have fresher legs.
All right, let's get your pick to win Finals MVP and the NBA title. Wembanyama and the Spurs are the favorites. John, who's hoisting both the Bill Russell Trophy and the Larry O'Brien Trophy?
Yeah, this one, I'm going chalk on this one.
Yep.
I mean, I have Spurs in 6 in this series because, again, despite the fact that the Knicks have had an incredible run, they have not faced a team like the Spurs. The Spurs just beat the then defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder on their floor after being down 3-2. Victor Wembanyama has put this league on notice that he is here right now. First team All-NBA, finishes top 3rd in the MVP race. And oh, by the way, the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year award in NBA history. He's been remarkable. No discredit to the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to put up a real good fight. And it would not surprise me, Noah, if they end up winning this thing. I'm just saying, look, the Spurs have momentum. They've got the best player in the series, and something that the Knicks had in the first 3 series that they're not going to have in this. It's going to be the Spurs with home court advantage, not the Knicks. I think that's critical.
That's probably the biggest thing that makes this shade to San Antonio for most people. But for me, I just think I can't look at what the Knicks have accomplished thus far and say there's a team out there that can actually beat them. Yes, the Spurs took down the champs, and the champs are the champs, but they did not have Jalen Williams, and I think we all can agree how vital Jalen Williams is to that Oklahoma City Thunder roster when you saw no second creator out there and Victor Wembanyama break Chet Holmgren's brain. That mattered in that series. And the fact that he wasn't a part of that 7-game series, I think we're having a different conversation right now if J-Dub is in that. And because of that, I think, they had to go through the slugfest, the gauntlet versus them. I've said it 100 times. And the Knicks they're more well-rounded. I think what Mike Brown's done, pulling Cat out, putting Brunson off the ball a little bit more, the efficiency from Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, is he Ray Allen? Is he Klay Thompson? Who is he? I mean, he doesn't miss a shot. Like, they're getting moments from guys that you wouldn't expect that has been very consistent. I just think when you're winning your games by 23 combined points every single night of the postseason, it's hard for me to pick against you. Knicks in 6, the Garden's going to be jumping in a week and a half from now.
Remember when I said Knicks in 5?
I don't hate that either.
I think it's time to pull that prediction out.
Yeah, you're doing that.
Yeah, why not?
You're going Knicks in 5.
Why not?
Let's do it.
Well,
Why not be
I got
ultra
one
aggressive?
7'4"
Why not be ultra
why
aggressive?
not?
And here's why. In my Bryant McFadden voice, and here's why. Experience. That's why I'm going to pick the Knicks over the Spurs in 5 games, because the emotion might get a little too big. The moment might get a little too big for the big 7'4" man. It might get a little too big. I don't know that it's going to get too big for Jalen Brunson. Cool, calm, collected. His heartbeat slows it down.
Wemby is just as cool, calm.
I don't know.
Collected,
He got ejected. He's pushing guys.
That was to send a message.
Hey, I'm here to stir things up. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little aggressive here. Knicks in 5. Cedric the Entertainer's gonna be there. We're gonna have all kind of fun. All right.
Congratulations to Knicks fans.
This season, the Knicks beat the Spurs in the NBA Cup final. Now they're trying to beat the Spurs in the NBA Finals. Tip-off for Game 1 just after 8:30 Eastern Time from San Antonio. And this is a classic case of something's got to give. The Knicks lead the NBA in field goal percentage inside the paint at 62%. Spurs allow the lowest field goal percentage in the paint at 48% this postseason. And for what it's worth, teams have a 20-4 series record all time when coming off a sweep in the previous round versus teams coming off a 7-game series in the previous round. Advantage Knicks. It's a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals. Our Avery Johnson hit the series-clinching shot in Game 5 against the Knicks. He joins us next from San Antonio. This is CBS Sports HQ.
You want to fight about it? Let's go.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here. Nobody's seen that coming. Y'all gonna make me.
Who's the gangster now?
Family does not leave family behind.
Y'all gonna make me happy.
You are a stone-cold killer.
1, 2, baby outside.
I want success. Get it for me.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work.
We don't break ourselves in half to give you a better life.
Rip and Beth have secrets. People with secrets can be useful.
We need to be careful with this family.
Find out what they know before it gets more complicated.
Family is the only thing worth fighting for. If either one of you want to walk, I won't hold it against you.
I'll be right next to you.
I've been so many places.
Life comes at you fast, whether you're ready for it or not. Everything has to come to an end.
I'm singing this song to you.
My center, my soul is gone.
The worry is what you do next.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth. She's gonna blow!
All episodes of Landman, TV's biggest phenomenon, are now streaming.
The situation's about to come to a head.
How do you know?
Because I'm about to take it there.
Every time you take a breath, you owe me.
I want success. Get that for me.
Well, God, you got anything else?
Landman, all episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Back here on CBS Sports HQ, we've got a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals. Spurs beat the Knicks in 5 games that year. Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing missed the entire series because of a torn Achilles, and the Spurs took advantage with their own Hall of Famers. Tim Duncan and David Robinson teamed up to form one of the greatest duos in NBA history, leading the Spurs to their first NBA championship. And there are some similarities 27 years later. In 1999, the Spurs were led by Tim Duncan in his age 22 season. Here in 2026, the Spurs are led by Victor Wembanyama in his age 22 season. There's a family connection for New York. Rick Brunson played on that Knicks squad in 1999. Now it's his son Jalen who stars for the Knicks. And speaking of family, our own Avery Johnson hit the series-clinching shot in 1999. Now he joins us from his old stomping grounds alongside CBS San Antonio's Nate Ryan.
CBS Sports HQ is touchdown at the NBA Finals. It's the Spurs and Knicks Game 1, a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals. Who could forget Avery Johnson, the corner jumper in Game 5, to send San Antonio home with their first ever trophy. Now, Avery, as the Spurs look to win title number 6, the atmosphere around this city, around this arena, unlike anything else.
Absolutely, and the Spurs going into this Finals 2026, they don't have this guy Tim Duncan, but they have Victor Wembanyama and a cast of others, and we're really excited. This team is a well-balanced team, well-coached team by Miss Johnson. We also have Coach Popovich in the behind the scenes helping Miss Johnson and the staff and communicating with the players. But I'm just thrilled that 27 years later, Nate, we're back in the NBA Finals against the New York Knicks, who we beat in 1999.
And there's so many similarities, too, because Victor Wembanyama, 22 years old. Tim Duncan was 22 when you guys won in 99. Your best memories, winning the title at Madison Square Garden, that's got to rank pretty high.
It ranks all-time high for me in my career. I didn't have a great game that game. I had a few too many turnovers, but nobody remembers that. They just remember that jump shot from the corner around 18 feet on the left side of the floor. It went in. I was left wide open. But at the end of the day, we had a team's team. We were all very unselfish. Everybody submitted to coaching. Everybody was coachable. We had great chemistry, good compatibility, mature young players. That's what I'm seeing with this version of the Spurs. We have Victor Wembanyama, but also Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox. We're very, very deep. The Spurs are deep. They're basically 1 through 11. That depth really offset the depth a little bit from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Great perimeter size. I think this is going to be an exciting finals.
Go back and check the tape, though. You're not giving yourself enough credit. The game-winning jumper, but also the game-sealing rebound on the other end to put it on ice in New York. Obviously, Avery, the Spurs team, the second youngest ever to reach the finals. Do you think this moment is too big for them, but can they meet it against the Knicks?
No, this moment isn't too big. They just beat the defending champs in 7 games, and they won that 7th game on the road in OKC, which is a tough place to play. This team has grown up a tremendous amount in the playoffs. You know, the victories that they've had. Remember, Victor Wembanyama got thrown out of a game in Minnesota. When he landed, Coach Pop was there to meet him and talk to him. So think about the maturation even with the star players. So I think this team has grown up. There's no putting it on pause and wait until next year. They are here in the finals, and now it's time for them to do what they can to beat an outstanding coach team, Mike Brown coach team, with Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks.
Mike Brown, a former Greg Popovich assistant here in San Antonio. The Knicks, Avery, have won 11 straight playoff games, but they haven't played in a long time since that sweep over Cleveland. On their aspect, probably going to look to throw a lot more physicality against the Spurs team.
Definitely physicality. Look for them to put it in drive against Victor Wembanyama. They're going to try to get him into foul trouble. But when you look at the Knicks, it obviously starts with Jalen Brunson, but Mikal Bridges is going to have to step up and play at a high level and win his matchup. We always want to talk about teams, but it's the game within the game. It's those individual matchups. How's Mikal Bridges going to slow down a Julian Champagnie, or when he's matched up against a Steph Castle? You know, what's going to happen with the bench from the Knicks when Dylan Harper and Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes comes off the bench for the Spurs? How are the Knicks going to counteract that? So it's the game within the game.
The chess match of the NBA Finals. Avery, you had this Spurs team getting to this point. Now it's time for a prediction. Who is lifting the Larry O'Brien Trophy?
Well, I've said it all along. I believe the Spurs are going to win the NBA championship. There's no disrespect to the Knicks. The Knicks are a terrific team. I'm picking the Spurs in 6. Ashley Nicole Moss, our colleague from CBS Sports HQ, she's a big Knicks fan. She's in the house, so we'll see. But I believe that the Spurs will do what's necessary to not stop Jalen Brunson, but slow him down, stay attached to some of those role players. Knicks are going to win a game or two, but I got the Spurs in 6.
He's got Spurs in 6, winning their 6th, and that's coming from number 6. You don't know, you just check the rafters right there. Johnson, the retired jersey up there. Spurs and Knicks in the NBA Finals. It all starts tonight. It's game 1 from the Frost Bank Center.
Won all time in the NBA Finals. Only time they lost was in 2013 to the Miami Heat. In Game 6 of that series, Spurs were up 5 points with 28 seconds to go, lost when Ray Allen played the role of hero to send the game to overtime. Then the Spurs lost in a Game 7. Here they are again, chasing number 6 in their franchise history. This just into CBS Sports HQ. Russell Wilson announced that he's joining us here at CBS as an analyst on NFL Today. He made the announcement in a video on his social media channels. Wilson said he's blessed to continue doing what he loves most, being around the game of football. 10-time Pro Bowler and quarterback the Seahawks to win over the Broncos in Super Bowl 48. Russell Wilson is the only quarterback in NFL history with 40,000 passing yards and 5,000 rushing yards. Wilson will join the NFL Today pregame show alongside the legendary James Brown, Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher, and former NFL receiver Dave Burleson. The NFL Today is celebrating its 50th anniversary after winning a Sports Emmy last season. Watch it every Sunday this season, noon Eastern time on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+. Getting closer and closer to tip-off in San Antonio. Coming up, what you need to know before Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We've got a full breakdown next on CBS Sports HQ.
You want to fight about it? Let's go.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, nobody's seen that coming. Y'all gonna make me.
Who's a gangster now? Family does not leave family behind.
Y'all gonna make me happy.
You are a stone-cold killer.
1, 2, baby,
I want success. Get it for me.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work.
We don't break ourselves in half to give you a better life.
Rip and Beth have secrets. People with secrets can be useful.
We need to be careful with this family.
Find out what they know before it gets more complicated.
Family is the only thing worth fighting for. If either one of you want to walk, I won't hold it against you.
I'll be right next to you.
I've been so many places. Life comes at you fast, whether you're ready for it or not. Everything has to come to an end. I'm singing this song to you.
My center, my soul, is gone.
The worry is what you do next.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
Till the roof comes up, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth.
She's gonna blow!
All episodes of Landman, TV's biggest phenomenon, are now streaming.
The situation is about to come to a head.
How do you know?
Because I'm about to take it there.
Every time you take a breath, you owe me.
I want success. Get that for me.
Well, God, you got anything else?
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Back here on CBS Sports HQ as we get you set for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And containing Victor Wembanyama is one of the keys for the Knicks to win the NBA championship. And New York is hoping big man Mitchell Robinson can disrupt Wemby at least a little bit. Robinson, however, is dealing with injury, had surgery to repair a broken right pinky last week, but he is available for Game 1 tonight. All right, back here with John Gonzalez, Noah Buono. Mitchell Robinson active for Game 1. Noah, what do the Knicks need from him at a minimum in Game 1?
15 minutes of unbelievably hard rim running. Rim run, offense, defense, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. And as much as he can physically tire out Victor Wembanyama in the time he gets out there, the better. Because Wemby's series numbers, minutes per game, have jumped. 28 minutes a game in the first round, 29 minutes a game in the second round, 37 minutes a game versus OKC. The more he plays, the more he gets bumped and hit and pressed, what kind of caused him to throw that elbow and just rattled. I think the better for the New York Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson is at the forefront of providing that with his physicality and size.
As a former player, how much does that limit you, a broken pinky? I'd have to think that it's not going to be a ton. It's just be more dealing with the pain, right?
I don't mean to be rude, but for a guy that can't shoot, it shouldn't limit him at all.
But like he's trying to pull down rebounds, right?
Yeah, well, you rip that thing down with 9 fingers. You'll be fine. That's a pinky, not a thumb, okay?
Right.
So if anything, it's the perfect pinky for a perfect finger overall of the 10 for it to happen to. He'll be fine.
There you go. He'll be fine.
I beg
if
to
he's
differ.
not, then we got a problem. We got a real problem.
I agree, right?
So I hate to do this to Knicks fans, but Mitchell Robinson was a problem and a liability for Hack'em Mitch when he had 10 working fingers. He was shooting 30%.
Go underhanded.
I wrote about this for CBS Sports.com.
That's why I teed you up.
Everybody should check that out because Rick Barry famously used to shoot underhanded and said he should have been shooting. Before I could even get the words Mitchell Robinson out of my mouth, he said he should have been shooting underhanded even before he broke the pinky. Now, of course, he's not going to do that. But my whole point here is that he was a liability for a Hack'em Mitch scenario when he had his fingers working, right? So how much can Mike Brown actually keep him out there against Victor Wembanyama? Use up your fouls, absolutely.
Yes.
But 15 minutes, I think, is probably the high end.
I think that's the cap, yeah. Play him more. What's he going to do in the next 5 minutes?
There's been guys that have cut their fingers off in NFL history, so
throw that away.
I guess you don't need it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get your keys to victory here for the Knicks in Game 1. John, let's start with you. What has to happen for the Knicks to win on the road?
Exactly what we're talking about right now. You got to slow down Victor Wembanyama. Now, that is easier said than done. We saw what happened. Noah mentioned it in the Western Conference Finals with Chet Holmgren absolutely disappearing. This is a guy who not only made first team all defense, but was second in the Defensive Player of the Year award to Victor Wembanyama. Might as well have been 20th. I mean, he had he wanted no part of Victor Wembanyama in that entire series. Now, can the Knicks slow him down? You got Karl Anthony Towns, historically not the world's best defender, but playing much better defense. We've talked about Mitchell Robinson. He's a liability out there on the offensive end because you got to play at both ends, right? Absolutely, he could help slow him down on defense, but then what happens if Mitch Johnson starts fouling him, putting him at the line? I just wonder about how much Mike Brown can actually use him. After that, your third center is Ariel Hukporti. Are you excited about playing Ariel Hukporti as your third center? Probably not. Again, this is much harder. Yeah, apologies to Ariel and his family, who I know are big CBS Sports HQ fans, but this is one of those scenarios where there really is no answer. You're also going to see quite a bit of OG Anunoby going out against Victor Wembanyama. Mike Brown is going to throw everything he possibly can at him. He's going to try everything he can. None of it's going to work, but that's not a Mike Brown problem. That's an NBA problem.
That feels like the matchup to watch, though. OG against Wemby. Like, that could be a matchup that decides this series.
Well, when you talk about length and physicality and strength, OG possesses all of that, plus the athleticism. Yes, he's got 6 or 7 inches on OG Anunoby, but OG Anunoby's size, like, he looks, a lot of people look a little smaller than they actually are on TV. He looks bigger, and I think that that's going to affect Victor Wembanyama because that's the biggest way to tire Wemby out, is to just be overly physical with him, overly handsy. For my pick, it's for the Knicks to just light it up from the three-point line like they've been doing. 40% this postseason. That's #1 for all playoff teams. They're taking 33 attempts a game. And I think that what they're doing with Brunson off the ball that I kind of mentioned earlier, Cat as that point center running the point forward option, that point action where the big man is at the top and he's dictating the offense. Do I want to dribble handoff? Do I want to back cut it? If I throw the back cut, do I want to skip it to the corner when the defense collapses? There's a million options out of it that Karl Anthony Towns has succeeded in executing. And when Jalen Brunson's off the ball and he's not early clock and operating for 20 seconds every single possession, all of a sudden the Knicks offense is more spread out. And now guys like Mikal Bridges feel more confident to step into their shot and shoot it. That's why they're shooting so well. That's why Landry Shamet's come off the bench and shoot it. And Victor Wembanyama is going to be involved in that paint. The Knicks are really good at getting points in the paint, but if they could just rely on their three-point shooting like they've done so far this postseason, I think they steal game 1 tonight.
Knicks got to frustrate Wemby. Spurs got to slow down Jalen Brunson. John, what's the key for the Spurs to win game 1 tonight?
Yeah, we're going to flip it, right? We talked about slowing down Victor Wembanyama. I think that the Spurs have to slow down Jalen Brunson, something that did not happen in the last 2 series for reasons that I am still puzzling over. The Sixers, it's not just about slowing down Jalen Brunson on the offensive end. You have to make him work at both ends of the floor. And against the Sixers, Nick Nurse, for whatever reason, let Jalen Brunson just hide in the corner on Kelly Oubre. Same thing happened in this, and again, apologies to you and Cavs fans.
You don't need to have any apologies.
Kenny Atkinson, what are you doing, Kenny Atkinson, where Jalen Brunson, you're not going out. The Knicks were going right at James Harden. You saw it in game 1 when they ended up having that historic turnaround at the end of the 4th quarter and in overtime. They absolutely hunted James Harden. The same thing wasn't true for Jalen Brunson, even though historically Jalen Brunson, not a good defender and can be hunted. You have to go right at Jalen Brunson. And the scary part for the Knicks as you're looking at this is, man, if you were going to design some players to really slow down Jalen Brunson at both ends of the floor and at least tire him out, you'd pick big physical guards and wings. Here comes Stephon Castle, who could have been all defense. Spurs fans are upset about that, but he's that caliber of player. Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie. Off the bench, you've got Dylan Harper, way ahead of schedule at 19, 20 years old, and Keldon Johnson, who was the 6th man of the year. They have the personnel to frustrate him. Same as Wemby, you're not going to stop him, but you can slow him down.
Well, they frustrated SGA with the exact personnel. They held him to his 2nd lowest ever field goal percentage in the Western Conference Finals. So the same thing is going to happen to Jalen Brunson. He's just going to have to figure out, just like he did in game 2 when Josh Hart was hitting shots and they sent the double team, I'll go for 14 assists tonight and I'll make every right play and pass off the ball or on the ball. And that's where Jalen Brunson succeeds. For me, the Spurs limit the turnovers. Stephon Castle had 20 turnovers in the first 2 games without De'Aaron Fox. In the next 5 games in the series with De'Aaron Fox, he only had 12 total. That's pretty good. And De'Aaron Fox adds a layer. I don't think De'Aaron Fox has been good in this postseason by any means, but credit to him for sticking it out and playing. What he provides to Stephon Castle, who's not really a true point guard, is enormous because you take him off the ball, you alleviate some of the playmaking ability. Now I want to see De'Aaron Fox. Can you be more of a playmaker? Stop with the 1-for-8 shooting. It's been a little touch and go with De'Aaron Fox. So if those guards are playing at that level and it starts with De'Aaron Fox, they can stop the turnovers. New York's not going to be able to run and gun them, and that's going to play into San Antonio's advantage if they can limit those turnovers.
Well, this is certainly an advantage. The Spurs are 6-0 all-time in game 1s in the NBA Finals. So, John, is the trend your friend? Are you picking San Antonio to set the tone and take a 1-0 series lead?
Oh, you know I am. The trend is definitely your friend. I mean, look, the Knicks, we know that they went through this 11-game winning streak, but they've had some time off, right? I mean, you get to think about this thing, and again, I keep harping on this, but the San Antonio Spurs are not the Philadelphia 76ers or the Cleveland Cavaliers or early in the first round, the Atlanta Hawks. The Spurs are really good.
So you're basing this on the difficulty of opponent here?
I'm talking about the difficulty of opponent, the layoff for the Knicks, and here's another one for you. Home court. Where's this game tonight?
San Antonio.
Thank you very much.
Home court.
San Antonio, look, hey, the Knicks are going to have a huge advantage when it goes back to MSG, but that doesn't happen until games 3 and 4. Game 1, first time that the Spurs have been back in the finals in forever. Avery Johnson in the building wearing his T-shirt. He's doing the hits for us. Listen, Victor Wembanyama is going to be ready for this in San Antonio. I think that they're suiting up Avery Johnson tonight. Give me the Spurs.
I hear what you're saying, and the home court thing I think just now is getting overblown because we just watched the Spurs beat the Thunder on their home court. I don't know if it matters as much. Now, for the duration of the series, you might be right because you get to that Game 7. But Game 6 ends up being the most pivotal one, and I think that that's where if the Knicks can win tonight, really, though, they don't have the pressure to win tonight because they can win in Game 2 and steal home court just the same way that if they won tonight. So I don't think that there's as much pressure on New York to win tonight as there is on San Antonio. Because if San Antonio loses tonight, now you're playing with your back against the wall because you give up home court immediately to start the series. Not good. So I actually don't think the pressure is on the Knicks, which is why I think they're going to come out looser, fresher. 9 days of rest is going to be a big deal. 3 days of rest for San Antonio. I'm sure that they're still kind of pretty emotional after Game 7. I'm not sure if they've toned it down a little bit. Hey, guys, you didn't win the NBA championship yet. So I think the Knicks are going to come in here and surprise people tonight because of their rest.
Stay hot, kids. The Knicks have won 11 straight, including their last 6 by double digits. As we get closer and closer to tip time in San Antonio, consider this. Teams have a 20-4 series record all time when coming off a sweep in the previous round versus teams coming off a 7-game series in the previous round. I guess, you know, you're feeling the hot hand. The team that just played 7 games is all banged up. They're a little overwhelmed. They're exasperated. So advantage Knicks here in Game 1. Still ahead, we'll go position by position. Our experts will explain who has the edge and why when our NBA Finals coverage continues next on CBS Sports HQ. Keep it locked.
You want to fight about it? Let's go.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, nobody's seen that coming. Y'all gonna make me.
Who's the gangster now? Family does not leave family behind.
Y'all gonna make me.
You are a stone cold killer.
1, 2, baby,
I want success. Get it for me.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work.
We'll break ourselves in half to give you a better life.
Rip and Beth have secrets. People with secrets can be useful.
We need to be careful with this family.
Find out what they know before it gets more complicated.
Family is the only thing worth fighting for. If either one of you want to walk, I won't hold it against you.
I'll be right next to you.
I've been so many places. Life comes at you fast, whether you're ready for it or not. Everything has to come to an end. I'm singing this song to you.
My center, my soul is gone.
The worry is what you do next.
Open your eyes. Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth.
She's gonna blow!
All episodes of Landman, TV's biggest phenomenon, are now streaming.
The situation's about to come to a head.
How do you know?
Because I'm about to take it there.
Every time you take a breath, you owe me.
I want success. Get that for me.
Well, God, you got anything else?
Landman, all episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Back here on CBS Sports HQ, the 2026 NBA Finals feature different ways to build an NBA superstar and an NBA champion. In terms of size, there's a 14-inch gap between 7'4" Victor Wembanyama and 6'2" Jalen Brunson. It's the largest height gap between points per game leaders in NBA Finals history. Wemby would be the tallest starter all time to win an NBA title. All right, back here with the 6-foot-tall John Gonzalez and 6'6" Noah Buono. I know you can't really see them. We're behind a desk, but just take my word for it. They're tall. I'm also 6 feet tall as well. So we're not short. Sometimes people will go, wow, you're shorter in person, or you don't look as big in person.
It's the camera.
It is. It does add some pounds, and I don't know that it adds any height. But let's talk about the height. Let's talk about the edge here. Time now for who has the edge in the NBA Finals. Let's start in the backcourt. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, they're roommates, they're friends, they love each other. De'Aaron Fox, Steph Castle. Noah, who has the edge here? It's a good backcourt matchup.
Yeah, this one's tough because the Knicks have the best backcourt player, but I don't think they have the total best backcourt. And I think, yes, Brunson is the guy, But when I also factor in Dylan Harper into that mix, and then you add in the bench players in the backcourt for the Knicks and McBride and Shamet, I think the advantage goes to the Spurs with their length, their physicality. Really, I mean, they're so physical, it's kind of alarming. And I don't think the Knicks necessarily, Josh Hart is like a Swiss Army knife guard. He's more of like a guard center, guard forward. Like he's not a natural two guard, right? So I think it's a little different to say they have the overall best backcourt just because Jalen Brunson is the best backcourt player. But I think the slight edge to the Spurs here for me.
It's so close, and you're right. It's a slight edge situation when you have the depth of guard play that the Spurs have with Fox and Castle, who is so good at both ends of the floor. I think he really cleaned up those turnovers after you had mentioned game 1 and 2 where he had 20 turnovers in the Western Conference Finals, and then he really got it together. And then you've got Dylan Harper, who's way ahead of schedule as well. I really love their guard play, but for me it is the Knicks because Jalen Brunson is the best guard of all those guys. And then I love that you call Josh Hart a Swiss Army knife. I also use that, so we're going to share that. But then you've got some guys like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby who kind of are tweeners as well. So aside from both teams have great depth here, but the one thing that really elevates it for me is Jalen Brunson. When you need a bucket, what happened at the end of game 1 in overtime against the Cavs? I keep bringing up the Cavs, and this is really a sore spot, but they're down 22 points, and then here comes Jalen Brunson, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the guy who's a perennial top 5 MVP candidate, an All-NBA selection. He's an absolute bucket when you need it. He is clutch. That's what sets it apart for me, but Noah is right. It's super close.
All right, front court battle. This is going to be awesome. Wemby, Julian Champagnie, Devin Vassell versus Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Noah, do you give the edge to the Spurs because they have Wemby?
No.
Wow.
This is the same thing about the Brunson thing. Just because you have the best player in the front court does not mean your front court is the best. And to me, I'd rather have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and Mitch Johnson than Devin Vassell and Julian Champagnie. And I think that's where I give them the slight edge, and Karl Anthony Towns, who I would not take over Victor Wembanyama. But when you group those guys in the totality of that front court, and you mentioned, John, it is OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, are they guards? They could merge in and give you guard style play, but their positions are 3s and 4s. They are in the front court in every bit. And I think, yes, Wemby is such a presence, and he leads this by a mile in terms of the best front court players if you were ranking just them. But overall, I would much rather prefer the Knicks front court than the Spurs if you're asking about those 2 starters, 3 starters, and then their guys off the bench.
This is why I like working with Noah, because he thinks outside the box. Everybody else looks at Victor Wembanyama and thinks, it's got to be Victor Wembanyama. Noah says, no, I'll take the Knicks. Couldn't be me. I will take Victor Wembanyama every day, all day. And then, by the way, Devin Vassell and Julian Champagnie are really underrated. For NBA casuals, you're going to be treated to some really great play by these two guys. Julian Champagnie was a cast-off by the Philadelphia 76ers, who had cast off so many players who have been useful this postseason. He's a really good shooter. He's a big body. He's a fantastic defender. Devin Vassell, same thing. He is such an underrated two-way player. And then we get to Victor Wembanyama, who, again, top 3 MVP candidate, first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year in NBA history, just cut through the former defending champs in the Oklahoma City Thunder, and also just embarrassed Chet Holmgren. And then, yes, the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns has been excellent. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart, however you want to configure them as wings, and we can add them into the front court. They've had a phenomenal season. They're going to put up a big fight in the finals, but it starts and ends with Victor Wembanyama.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Would you take Wemby out of it?
I said yes like I'm running the show. Go ahead.
Who would be the next guy of that front court that you would take? You're telling me you would take another front court member, particularly from the Spurs, because that's who you're picking, over OG Anunoby?
No, that's what I'm saying. The next guy,
the advantage Knicks.
The next guy would be OG Anunoby, and I love their depth. OG Anunoby, arguably the best two-way player so far this postseason, and that includes the time he missed with the hamstring injury. He's phenomenal. Yes, they have some fantastic depth, but that level that Victor Wembanyama takes, the gap
so big for you?
You can't clear it.
Interesting.
All right, now for the role players and the guys who will step up, that need to step up off the bench. We mentioned the rookie Dylan Harper for San Antonio, Mitchell Robinson for the Knicks. Noah, statistically, the benches are even.
Yeah.
When you take a look at the numbers, so whose bench is really the best?
I'm going to lean towards the Knicks in this one because I think, like you said, the minutes are limited, and I don't think that you're seeing a lot of overwhelming bench production, but Landry Shamet in his minutes has been phenomenal. You go to Deuce McBride, who's playing the most minutes off the bench, 20 minutes a game. And then on the Spurs bench, like in Game 7, Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper were the only guys that played double-digit minutes. They combined for 43 in Game 7. Carter Bryant's not playing that much. Can he play more and be a factor on Jalen Brunson in this series? Hey, Luke Cornett, shout out to you for your 12 minutes a game. You're just there to give Wemby a breather. Like, I don't think that the value in San Antonio's bench is the same as what it is in New York, given what you're getting from each guy in these roles. Shamet's coming in to shoot. McBride's coming in to shoot. Mitchell Robinson's coming in to run the glass, run the floor, and dominate the boards, bring physicality. Like, there's a hole that each of these guys on the bench fill. And I think for San Antonio, it's just, hey, Keldon Johnson, can you be the sixth man of the year? And Dylan Harper, can you continue this incredible rise as a 19-year-old? But outside of that, like, they're kind of just doing a little bit of everything, whereas the Knicks, I think you have real purpose with the guys coming in that are filling these holes, and that's why I give a slight edge to the Knicks bench here.
It is a slight edge. We agree on that component. And
yes.
The Knicks bench, they have useful pieces, but I am a little worried, as we mentioned, about Mitchell Robinson being a Hack-a-Mitch liability. He was already that because he's shooting 30% from the free throw line. Now he's got a busted finger, and he's got a wrap on it. How much can Mike Brown use him? Shamet can't miss. He's been fantastic. McBride, okay, he's sort of hot and cold. And then after that, we're into Ariel Hukporti, and I'm a little nervous about that. On the other side, this is...
Forget about Jordan Clarkson.
And Jordan Clarkson, who I like, but has been, we'll call intermittently used by Mike Brown, right? What I know I'm getting out of the Spurs is I know I'm getting a good effort from Dylan Harper. That kid plays years and years above.
Do you know that?
I do know that.
What happened in the middle of the Thunder series?
Some of the... Well,
I don't mean to throw you off, but he gave us a little data of, hey, I am 19, guys, remember.
Fair enough, but he bounced back. A lot of the guys would have been shook, and he wasn't shook. He comes back, and he's playing really well. Keldon Johnson, sixth man of the year. Hey, put some respect on his name. Put some respect, by the way, on Luke Cornett's name. My guy, Noah Buono, says, oh, Luke Cornett is just there to give Wemby a breather. Well, that is partly true. The other part that you missed, though, is what was maybe, arguably, the biggest moment from Game 7 when he had that block on Isaiah Hartenstein, when the Thunder looked like they might be launching a comeback, and Luke Cornett said, not on here, not on my watch. So Luke Cornett and Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper, congratulations, slight edge to the Spurs.
All right, well, one coach has been here before, the other hasn't. Mitch Johnson looking to become the fourth head coach since 2000 to win a title in his first full season as a head coach. Mike Brown in his first season with the Knicks, but he's coached in the finals, led the Cavs to the 2007 finals, got swept by the Spurs. Noah, Mike Brown has the coaching edge. He's got the experience. I think this is pretty easy to give Mike Brown the edge in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that ended the 27-year finals drought for the New York Knicks. He's also the guy that ended the 16-year playoff drought, the longest at the time for the Sacramento Kings, when he took them to a number 3 overall seed in the West and a first-round playoff exit in 7 games with the Golden State Warriors. That's Mike Brown. He was on assistant coach staff for the Golden State Warriors when they won back-to-back titles. He was in the finals, like you mentioned, as the head coach for LeBron James. Experience, and by the way, he's proven time and time again that firing this guy is a mistake. Dan Gilbert said himself, it was a mistake firing him the first time, so he hired him again and then fired him again. So not a lot of these teams that have employed Mike Brown, maybe circumstantially, and the players that they had at the time, they needed a fresh start. But Mike Brown is a legit ball coach. Like, this is as good of a ball coach as you can get. And that's no knock on Mitch Johnson. It's just that he's only been doing it for 2 years. He's still getting a little feedback from Coach Popovich a little bit. I think his hand might be being held just a little bit. Mike Brown doesn't need any hand holding. He's the best coach in this series.
They're both really good. I'm really impressed by what Mitch Johnson has done. Now, stipulated, you've got Victor Wembanyama. That certainly helps, right? But the development that he's had with Stephon Castle, where certain coaches would be afraid to play a guy that young and put that much responsibility into his hands. When De'Aaron Fox was out in the first couple of games of the Western Conference Finals, hey, Steph Castle, here's the keys to the kingdom. Same thing with Dylan Harper. Am I really going to give that many minutes to a kid who's 19 and now 20 years old when we're trying to go to the NBA Finals and win a championship? But Mitch Johnson has trusted his guys. They were top 5 in offense and defense during the regular season. Here they are in the finals. Fantastic job, Mitch Johnson. But Noah's right. It's Mike Brown. We finally agreed on one, right? Because Mike Brown has been he's been an underrated coach for so long. I mean, he did it with the Cavs. Okay, the results weren't great. But you had mentioned also when Steve Kerr had those health issues, here steps in Mike Brown, who was an assistant with those Warriors team, and helps that dynasty keep going. And now he takes a Knicks team that made its first Eastern Conference Finals last year in 25 seasons, and they say, Tom Thibodeau, thank you so much, but you got to hit the bricks. And what I love about what Mike Brown has done is Tibbs was really, really set in his ways about it's Jalen Brunson's show, and then we'll figure everything else out. Mike Brown came in and went, you know what? On nights when Jalen Brunson doesn't have it going, we have so many different ways to beat you. Hey, Karl Anthony Towns, let's run the offense through him. OG Anunoby, by the way, one of the best two-way players in the NBA and who's super underrated. Josh Hart, our Swiss Army knife. Mikal Bridges couldn't hit a shot, didn't go away from him, right? Stayed with him, and all of a sudden now he can't miss a shot. So I love what Mike Brown has done. It's him.
Go with the guys that got you here. Trust your stuff. All right, so we've got Go Spurs Go and Go New York Go. I mean, those are the rallying cries. They're pretty similar. Noah, you talk about the categories. You gave the Knicks the edge in 3 of the 4 categories I wrote down. Do you have them winning the series? How many games?
Have I not made that clear?
I'm giving you your last chance here.
In 6. Okay. Yes, of course I have them winning the series.
Okay. You know I'm going to the Spurs.
Why do we have to disagree on everything?
You know what? But this is a good peanut butter and jelly.
On the Spurs side? I feel
peanut butter and jelly situation where you're going one way, you zig, I zag, and it works out great. One of us is going to be right, and they'll cut the video and they'll go, that guy who they're dressed very similarly. One of them was right.
I don't know if we'll be able to cut the video. We have video restrictions, so we'll see if we have time for that. But Noah says Knicks in 6, chasing their 3rd title in franchise history. John says Spurs in 6, San Antonio chasing title number 6. Will it be Go Spurs Go? Will it be Go New York, Go New York, Go? Hey, you know what? We're going to break. Closing in on tip-off for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Our coverage continues as we get you set for Game 1 of the NBA Finals next on CBS Sports HQ.
About it. Let's go.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, nobody's seen that coming. Y'all gonna make me.
Who's the gangster now? Family does not leave family behind.
Y'all gonna make me happy.
You are a stone-cold killer.
1, 2, hit me outside.
I want success. Get it for me.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work.
We don't break ourselves in half to give you a better life.
Rip and Beth have secrets. People with secrets can be useful.
We need to be careful with this family.
Find out what they know before it gets more complicated.
Family is the only thing worth fighting for. If either one of you want to walk, I won't hold it against you.
I'll be right next to you.
I've been so many places. Life comes at you fast, whether you're ready for it or not. Everything has to come to an end. I'm singing this song to you.
My center, my soul is gone.
The worry is what you do next.
Open your eyes. Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth.
She's gonna blow!
All episodes of Landman, TV's biggest phenomenon, are now streaming.
The situation's about to come to a head.
How do you know?
Because I'm about to take it there.
Every time you take a breath, you owe me.
I want success. Get that for me.
Well, God, you got anything else?
Landman, all episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
All right, back here on CBS Sports HQ, back here with John Gonzalez, Noah Buono, as we get you set for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We've been covering this NBA Finals for the last hour here on CBS Sports HQ. Hopefully you've been with us in breaking down all the keys. Final thoughts here for the Finals, Game 1. John, I'll start with you as we get moments away from tip time.
I'm super excited about this series.
It's a great series, right?
We were talking about, last year went to 7 games, but then unfortunately Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. And I never really felt like, even though the Pacers really put up a fight, that Oklahoma City wasn't going to win that. And then the year before was a complete dud where the Celtics steamrolled the Mavericks. This one is going to be fantastic. Noah and I are on different sides of this, but we both agree that it's going to be hyper entertaining. And then just from a matchup perspective, I'm looking at 2 things. How are the Knicks going to guard Victor Wembanyama? Karl Anthony Towns playing better defense. How much Mitchell Robinson can you have out there? After that, you're going to have some OG Anunoby. Super excited to see that. And then the reverse for me, how are the Spurs going to guard Jalen Brunson? He got a free pass in the first 3 rounds. You're not going to get a free pass against the Spurs. They've got big bodies that come after you. I expect Stephon Castle is going to get a lot of that duty, but after that, you're going to see a fair amount of Devin Vassell, Julian Champagny. I think the 2 superstars for each team, how much they can contribute is going to go a long way towards who wins the series.
I'm really interested to see what the matchups from the jump are. Do the Spurs want to deviate away from Stephon Castle on Jalen Brunson at the start, knowing they're going to put him in pick and roll actions and they're going to draw switches regardless? They want to try to find him later in the matchup. And you have to rely on luck, though, for Stephon Castle to be the guy that ends up on Brunson later on. They didn't do that in Oklahoma City, so I'm curious to see if they'll do the same and just have Stephon Castle attack Jalen Brunson from the jump. And the bodies that they can throw at him that John mentioned, I think is something to really watch. And then on the Wemby side, I'm really interested to see how he does with these minutes. He's going to keep playing more and more minutes. The Spurs were not great when he was off the floor, so he's just got to play 37 minutes a game over 7 games versus the Thunder. I don't do the whole, he might get injured or he could get injured. He literally practices how to fall, okay? I think that of all people, he's really cognizant of it. So I'm not even worried about him getting injured or things of that nature with the minutes load. It's more so his fatigue level. Can he withstand the up and down battle and the grueling bumps of guys that are legitimately bigger than him? Cat, Mitch, OG, they are going to put a bruising on him. He's going to take some hits. And then the last piece is, what is Josh Hart going to look like? Is Wemby going to start on him? Are they going to sag him off the paint like they did a lot in that last matchup March 1st, where Josh Hart was 4 of 14, he was 0 for 7 on jump shots in that game? If that's the case, advantage Spurs. But if Josh Hart is knocking down his 3-pointers, the Spurs are going to have to make some serious quick adjustments, and it's going to be advantage New York Knicks.
Look, I'm happy for the Knicks. I picked them to win this series. The only thing that would have made this better is if LeBron James led the Cavaliers here. LeBron and the Cavs against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, past versus present, like the old dude against the young dude. Storylines aplenty.
Next year.
But I will always say, I always maintain this as a basketball fan. When the Knicks are good, it is good for the NBA. It is good for the sport. So when we have the Knicks, a formidable franchise and one of the first franchises, and you see them back in the NBA Finals, this is good for the overall health of the game.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, and the other part of it is not just because of the brand and MSG and the energy that the building brings and that the fans bring. This team is really likable.
They are.
I mean, Mike Brown was doing
as a fan of the Cavaliers.
Yes, I'm as a Philadelphian. I don't want to like these New York Knicks players and Mike Brown.
The Nova Knicks.
But the Nova Knicks they've been likable for over a decade now. I mean, Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, that interplay that they have with each other. Karl Anthony Towns talking about, running out to Modell's to get Jeremy Lin's jersey. Josh Hart is hilarious, right? I mean, all of these guys are just super likable. You had Mike Brown the other day doing Who Let the Dogs Out. I mean, these guys are just fun.
Culture setter. I think when, as someone who grew up in New Jersey, rooting for the Knicks, watching MSG Network, Mike Breen on the call, couldn't buy a bucket, couldn't buy a win. It was just terrible year after terrible year. Brief stint with Carmelo Anthony. It's nice to be in this position as a person from the tri-state area that's always leaned New York Knicks fandom. For them to be in this moment, Mike Breen to be on the call for them. It's just overall about basketball in New York City. I know the game's not in New York City tonight, but the fact that the Knicks are on this stage, incredible, and they got a really good chance to hang that banner since 1973.
Quick shout out to our YouTube viewers as well who are watching right now. They have polled and they have weighed in. 54% of our YouTube viewers are picking the Spurs to win the NBA title.
So I being on the, I like being on the side that's not most popular.
Yeah, the trend is not your friend. You want to go underdog. Go with the Knicks. That's what they are, right? I think the Knicks like the underdog role here in this series.
I don't.
Favorite?
He said they're not.
No, I don't think that this series.
Well,
is
according to Vegas, they're the underdogs.
And I think Vegas is 100% wrong.
Okay, well, take it up with Vegas. I'm not Vegas. All right. John Gonzalez, Noah Buono here on HQ. After each and every NBA Finals game, we'll have full post-game coverage right here on CBS Sports HQ. Tip-off moments away from the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Knicks chasing their third NBA title in franchise history, for the Spurs chasing title number 6. Again, we'll be back here post-game on CBS Sports HQ. Enjoy Game 1 of the NBA Finals.